I just told my husband that I can't carry her home. I really wanted to, but I could not carry her. I heard the doctor said, "Oh, look, the baby has her cord wrapped tightly around her neck." I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. Okay, come on. This is the fourth time I've tried to film this video, and for some reason each time I sit down and press record, I just couldn't get the words out. I don't know where to start, and so I just feel like this is my story, this is my experience. Maybe my body is not ready to talk about it now. I had to give myself time to talk about it so when I'm ready to talk about it. So yeah, here I am to tell you guys my birth story, or will I say my birth testimony. It's been a long time coming. I had my 4th week scan on a Tuesday. On that day, I was already 40 weeks one day, so I was like one day past my EDD. So I remember during the scan, I could see on the screen that my baby was like quite big. So even the sonographer made a joke, was like, "Oh, looks like we have a big baby here." We all laughed about it, and it was nothing. We finished the scan and we were asked to wait outside for our result. The sonographer came out after a couple of minutes and was like, "Oh, here is the result. All the best, darling." I was like, "Oh, thank you." And my husband were like, "Oh, thank you." And she handed us the results. So we both looked at the results. We were going through the details, and then we reached like towards the end of the scan report, and then it says that my baby was 8 pounds 15 oz, so that's about 4 kg. Being 8 pounds puts her on a 73% percentile, so she's like on a bigger size. Let's say she's a big baby. Now the last scan we had was when I was 36 weeks pregnant, and she was weighing around 2.8 kg and was on 72, I think 72-75 percentile, which was normal. So now she had kind of shot up on the weight limit. At the end of the report, I saw that there was a follow-up. Like at the end of the result, I saw that there was like a follow-up, and the sonographer has requested that the consultant should see me within 1 week. I'm like, "Oh, that has never happened. I've never had a follow-up after any of my scans." I'm like, "Oh, maybe because I'm like one day past my EDD and protocols and all of that." I didn't think about it too much. After about 1 hour we got home, I received a text message from the hospital saying, "Oh, you've been booked to see so doctor, so person tomorrow." I'm like, no, and I not even let me reach house. Now I had a midwife appointment booked for the next day, being Wednesday. Okay, that was supposed to be my possibly last midwife appointment, because again I was like gone past my EDD, and I was also supposed to have a membrane sweep that day. So that means on Wednesday being the next day, and I have 2 appointments: the emergency appointment with the consultant and my midwife appointment, which is supposed to be my last appointment. And I was also supposed to get a membrane sweep to help induce labor, or just see if I can go into labor myself. The next day I woke up very early in the morning. I said my prayers. I usually join NSPPD. My husband had gone to the gym because we already planned, okay, this is the time for the phone call, because I forgot to mention it was a phone call appointment. We already planned, okay, the appointment is by so time, so you should be home 45 minutes or 30 minutes before the appointment, so that we can answer the phone call together. And he was like, "All right." So literally 5 minutes after my prayers, I got a call. It was an unknown number, so I wasn't expecting it to be the doctor, the consultant, because of course, again, I still had like 1 hour before my appointment time. So why are they calling me that early? So I picked up the phone, and then I heard, "Hello, is this Chidema?" I'm like, "Yep, this is consultant, this, that, and that from so hospital." I'm like, okay. In my mind, I was like, "What is the urgency? Why are you calling me this early?" So he said, "I understand you had an ultrasound yesterday." I told him yes. He was like, "Oh, I've just reviewed your results, and I could see that you have a big baby. Your baby is 4 kg, 93 percentile, and that leaves us with 2 options." So he was like, "Can you hear me?" I said, "Yes, I can." He said, "You have 2 options. Number 1, get a cesarean section. Number 2, get an induction, so that we can bring the baby out as soon as possible, because the longer the baby stays in the womb, the bigger it gets." Because I think from about 37-38 weeks, the baby kind of doubles in weight. So the moment they even hit like the EDD, they start to grow fast. So if she's 4 kg as at the previous day, That means if I wait for labor to come naturally and maybe decide to stay till about I get to like 41 weeks, she might be too big and we might have complications. So it was like, so these are the two options we have. After he said that, I paused and then I said that I would really like to have a vaginal bed, so I think I prefer to go for an induction. He kept quiet for like 5 seconds and he was like, are you sure you want to have an induction? I said yes. Then he started listing the complications of having an induction. So he was like, hope you know that having an induction, you might end up having a C-section if the induction doesn't work, or if your heart rate goes too high or the baby's heart rate goes too high. C-section is also a risk of induction. I said yes, I know. He says, hope you know there's also a risk of instrumental delivery. That's when you have to like bring the baby out with instruments like forceps and other things. I said yes. He also said something about shoulder dystocia. So that's when the baby's shoulder gets stuck at the back canal, like at the vagina, because of course the baby is too big. So the head can come out, but then the shoulder gets stuck and they might have to give the person tear or just intervene to bring the baby out. I was like, yes, I'm aware. He was like, okay, that's fine if that is your choice. I'm going to refer you to the midwife and have them book you for an induction as soon as possible because we need to get the baby out. I'm like, okay. The call ended. I was still trying to process the message alone because, of course, my husband wasn't back from the gym because, again, they called earlier than we were expecting, earlier than the appointment time. So I was trying to process the message and all of that. I've just gone to the toilet to pee because, again, I'm pregnant, so I pee every 5 minutes. Okay, so I've just gone to pee and then my phone rang, and in my mind I was like, oh, maybe the consultant forgot to tell me something because it was like literally, it wasn't up to 2 minutes. His call ended, I got another call. So I unconsciously didn't look at the number because the first number that called me was an unknown number. This one was also an unknown number, but the numbers were so similar that I didn't even look very well to be sure it was a different number. So I thought maybe he forgot to tell me something, because of that. So I picked and it was like, hello, is this Chidinma? I'm like, yes, but this time around it was a female voice. That was the midwife. He was like, oh, I understand you've had a call with the consultant. You have to come in for us to assess you and then book you for an induction the next day. So I was still trying to tell her, okay, I haven't discussed with my husband. It was just too many information for me to process at the same time. So I was trying to tell her, oh, I just got off the call with the consultant and I haven't even been able to discuss with my husband what the consultant said. Of course, I already know that my husband will approve whatever it is I want to do. But, I was still trying to like internalize the message and all of that. So I told her, oh, I haven't even spoken to my husband about my call with the consultants, and he was like, oh no, it doesn't matter, you have to come in as soon as possible, so I'm booking you in. When you come in, we can now have any discussion we want to have. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So she ended the call. I was still trying to process. I'm like, why is everybody doing quam? I kept calm, okay? I was gone past my EDD, but I was never worried at all. I told you guys in my last vlog, I'm going to put that vlog here. I was never worried about getting past my EDD or anything. I had peace, but at this time, because they were worried, nobody are not worried, but then people around you or your doctors are a bit worried and putting you under pressure, but I understand they are trying to do their job. It kind of made me a bit worried, but I brushed it off. So my husband came and I discussed the whole thing with him, and he was like, yeah, that's no problem. We'll go for the midwife appointments, and from there we go for your assessments to prepare you for induction the next day. My husband realized that I was low-key panicking, so he tried to like calm me down, was like, don't worry, everything will be fine. We went for a midwife appointment, everything was okay. Of course, it was like my favorite midwife, like she's so nice. So she did the normal checks, the routine checks, CO2, blood pressure, and when it was time to listen to the baby's heart rates, she put the, I think, Doppler thing, I can't remember what it's called, on my tummy, and then I noticed that she was listening for a bit too long. And remember, if you watch my vlogs, you know that have happened before, okay? The first time I was sent to the triage, I noticed that she was listening to the baby's heartbeat a bit too long. She would listen and then remove it and then put it back and listen again. I'm like, I tried to see if I can tell from her expression what is really going on, but she's a professional, so I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't really read it very well from her face. Then she asked me, oh, have baby been moving okay? I said, yes, I felt her moving. Even as I was trying to lie down, she was doing her normal movement. She said, okay, that the baby's heart rate is high, that she's getting a 180 reading, and that's like high, okay? that I should go to the triage and have them monitor me properly. So at this point, I'm like, God, why is everything going, not like going wrong, but why is everything, I don't know how to put it, been somehow since the previous day, like since the moment they told my baby is 4 kg, everything has been, so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll go to the triage. So I asked her, oh, what about the membrane sweep, because I was supposed to have a membrane sweep. I asked her, okay, what about the membrane sweep? She said, just tell them at the triage, they will do it for you after they've assessed you and everything is okay with the baby. I said, okay. We drove to the triage. On our way to the triage, I remember thinking in my mind, why is everything, going the way it is? My pregnancy wasn't like a very difficult pregnancy. No pregnancy is easy, to be honest. Okay, maybe some people have it easy, but mine wasn't like 100% easy kind of pregnancy. But I never had like I never had scares, apart from the triage situation I told you guys about. So my mom like, this is just too much information. We got to the triage, they assessed me, put me on a monitor and kept me for I think about 3 to 4 hours. So at this point my baby's heart rate was between 170 to 150. So sometimes it goes up to like 174, 175, and then it comes down to like 150. So when it now settled to about 140, they are happy to send me home. They were like, oh, thankfully your induction is tomorrow, so come in by 2 p.m. for your induction. So I also asked them for the membrane sweep because I really wanted to have it, because a lot of people swore that it helped them go into labor. Some people said they had membrane sweep and 2 hours later they were in labor. I'm like, why not? Let's give it a try. So I had the membrane sweep. It was painful. Let me not scare you people. It was, let's say, it was uncomfortable. It was more like pap smear, because I've had pap smear before, and I think they almost the same level of discomfort. I think the membrane sweep was more painful, to be honest. Yeah. So, but I was like, anything to make sure I go into labor naturally. So I did this, and then we went home. And that night I was just trying to make sure everything is ready. I was double checking my hospital bag, because again, the next day is my induction. So I was just double checking things, checking the bus, just trying to make sure that everything is settled. So I said my prayer, had my shower, and then around 10 p.m. that night I started having contraction. Okay, this time around I knew that these were not Braxton Hicks, these were like real contraction. This time I was like, oh, okay, thank God though, the membrane sweep is working, because this is like literally, let's say, 4 or 5 hours after I got back from the hospital. So I was having contraction, but they were not close together. And of course, I think you should go to the hospital when your contractions are like 3 minutes apart. All things being okay, like no bleeding, or you are not worried about anything, just labor at home as long as possible. By the time it got to like 11 p.m. ish, 12 a.m, it was coming to like 10-7 minutes, and then it will be close together for like 10-7 minutes, and then it stops. So the thing is, I was having on and off contraction, so I couldn't even sleep that night because the contraction was getting more intense. But the thing is, it wasn't coming as close together as I want it to be, and I was also monitoring it with an app. I had to download the contraction tracker that night, and I was monitoring it. I think the closest it got was like between 5 to 10 minutes, like on average. That was like the closest contraction I had. Around 4 a.m. or so, it stopped. I went to bed. I'm like, anyway, whichever way, I just said my prayers. I'm like, God, I'm putting everything in your hands. If I'm going to have an induction, fine, whichever way. In fact, the thing is, I didn't worry about it too much. So I went to bed. The next morning I woke up, I did my morning exercise, because I usually do it's either I do cup walking, or if I don't want to leave the house, I walk on my treadmill. So I did my treadmill thing, and that morning I was still having contraction, but again, they were not close together. So I didn't see the need for me to start going to the hospital until it's time for me to go to the hospital for my induction, which is by 2 p.m. that day. I started having contraction, but I wasn't in active labor, let me put it that way. After my exercise, I went to the kitchen to have something to eat. So I've just finished eating, and my husband was doing the dishes. So I stood up to walk to, because we have like this little cute area where you can sit down and have your food, have your meal in the kitchen. So I've just finished my meal, and I stood up. I was supposed to take like, it wasn't even up to 10 steps to the sink to put my plates down so that my husband can wash it. My husband was like, oh, why are you standing up? Why do you like stressing yourself? Sit down, I'll come get the plates. I'm like, no, you don't have to. You know me. If I can't do something, I don't do it. So for me to stand up to put my plates in the sink, that means I know I can actually walk from here to the sink to put my plates. So it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. So we laughed about it. I stood up, took the first step. I was okay. Took the second step. I felt like something left me. Like I felt like something sucked out all the energy in me. I felt like a force pushed me down. All this thing I'm trying to say is that I fell on my knees and I felt like water gushed out of me. So at a point, I felt like, oh, maybe I'm peeing, maybe I'm leaking, because I never leaked as a pregnant woman. Okay, each time I need to go to the bathroom, I always have access to bathroom, so I just go and pee. I never leak. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm beginning to leak. Trying to hold it back, because you have like some kind of muscle control over your bladder. So I was trying to like hold the thing, but it was still coming. Then I realized that I have no control of this water coming out of me. So that means it's not pee. I'm not urinating. So I looked at my husband and I said, babe, I think my water has broken. He's like, at first he thought it was a prank. He was like, are you sure? Are you sure you're not pranking me? I said, no. He said, okay, maybe it's your pee. Maybe you are peeing, like you are leaking or peeing on yourself. Don't worry, I'll clean it up. Because and I think he thought I was joking on us, because me, I was acting, I was also like trying to figure out what happened. So he thought I was joking at first, and then he thought maybe it was pain. I was like, oh, I'll get something and clean it up, don't worry. I told him I'm like 90% sure that my water just broke. So he was like, okay, what do we do? Should I go and get the bag? Do we go to the hospital? I told him I don't like the color of my water. That was like the first thing I noticed. So my water was not clear, because I think the water is supposed to be a bit clear, but mine was like yellowish green. I told my husband I don't think I like the color of my water. I was like, what do you mean? What is this supposed to be? I told him, I think the baby has pooped instead of me. He said, how did you know? I was now trying to explain to him that the color looks like it has baby poo in it, and I could even see some yellow green particles in my water. The thing is, my water was not clear. It was at that point that I think I started panicking low key. Like, before the panicking was on and off, but at this point, it was just a mixture of emotions at this point, because I was happy that my water has broken. Okay, that means labor is on the way. Okay, maybe in a couple of hours. That was like the thought I had. So I was happy my water has finally broken, but I wasn't happy with the color of the water. So if you don't know what I'm trying to say, is babies usually have their first poo outside the womb. It's not good. Let me put it in layman's knowledge. It's not good for the baby to have their first poop inside of it. Of course, when the baby is in the womb, they can pee. When they pee into the same amniotic fluid, they can swallow it and they are fine. But when they poo inside the amniotic fluid, they can inhale it. Okay, and it can lead to what we call meconium aspiration syndrome. So it can cause respiratory distress. So having your baby poop inside of you is not a good thing. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. I was worried, but then I was also trying to remain calm. I was like, God, the man I don't understand why since 2 days it's been one thing or the other. Pregnancy that have been going, almost we'll say, is going smoothly. Last minute, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that. Baby is this one, C-section, induction, heart rate to 180. Like, I was like, I know that you're not going to disappoint me. That was what I was saying to God. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. So I went upstairs, I had my bath, I was in the shower, I was singing, I was praising God, I was trying to tell myself to calm down, because panicking has never in this life done anything good for me. That's one thing about me. So I was a bit emotional, but I was trying to stay calm. So I got ready. I and my husband, we drove to the hospital. So on the way to the hospital, the contraction was it was like 3 minutes apart this time around. So we got to the hospital. Okay, meanwhile, I called the hospital because of course they gave me when to come for my induction. I had to call them like, okay, my water had just broke and I'm having contractions. Is it okay for me to come in now? I know I have an appointment by 2 p.m, but this is the situation. I don't like the color of my water that has broken. She was like, oh, that she's happy that I'm having contraction and my water has broken, that hopefully I go into labor on my own without having to be induced. She was like, oh yeah, you can come to so place, and then I will tell you where next to go. So we got to the hospital. We got there, they sent me to the triage. So triage is like a maternity A&E, okay? So they sent me to, they were like, oh, okay, you have to go to the triage. So I went to the triage to check in, and the lady at the front desk was like, oh, hello, I've been sent here. My water broke like 30 minutes ago, and I think my baby has pooped inside of me. So she looked at me, she was like, huh? I said, yes, I think my baby has pooped inside of me. She said, how did you know? I had to start explaining. And at this point, I was not finding it funny. I was like low-key pissed. I had to start explaining myself again that this is why I think it's. I told her I have a pad on in case you want to see. So she was like, oh, okay. She now asked me to sit down, and after a while, they sent me in. So the doctor asked me the same thing. How did you know your water has mercury in it? I explained again. I told her I have a pad. Would you like to see? She said yes. So when I removed my pants and then showed her the pad, she was like, yeah, you are right, your baby has pooed inside of you. So she told me to relax and not get stressed, and then went to call her senior. She came, she assessed me, she said, okay, we have to monitor you just for a short period of time while we prepare the room for your induction. They put me on the fetal monitor again, and my baby's heart rate was like 180 again. Chai. That was when I was like Igagum. You know, when the past couple of days has been stories upon stories. Nothing bad has happened though, you understand, but the story is no longer going in the direction I was expecting. Okay, I was feeling okay. So how come my contraction was coming up, even though when I got to the hospital it slowed down, which of course I don't mind. At this point I'm like, even induction, so I and my husband, we were praying. So they put me on the monitor, and my baby's heart rate was 180 something again. I tried not to panic because I'm like, if I start panicking, the heart rate might even increase more. So at this point, I was tired of like things not like going totally wrong, but you guys understand what I'm saying. So, but I tried to remain calm. So after like 1 hour, it was still going between 170 to 180. One of the doctors came in. Very lovely lady. So she came in and she was like, we can't induce you with this kind of heart rate your baby has. We can't induce you. Your baby's heart rate is too high. She said that she may not be able to carry the induction because induction is forceful contraction. So you can imagine on just normal resting states, I was contracting every, let's say, 15-20 minutes, and her heart rate is this high. What will happen if like the contraction is now back to back, that she may not recover from it, so that she think I will have to have an emergency C-section? So I'm like, C-section, how? She said for the baby's heart rate to be this high, that means the baby is in distress. And remember, the baby has pooed inside of you. Something must have made her poo inside of you. So she left. So when she spoke to, I was like, okay, let me, have a chat with my husband. So she was like, hey, yeah, think about it and everything. So she came back with another doctor, their consultant, because I could read her tag. So lovely lady. I just thank God for the team I had. So she came in, she looks at it, she was like, oh, let's monitor her a little longer. She told them to prepare room for my induction, have me monitored a little longer, that she's hopeful that the baby's heart rate will settle, that it's too early to jump into C-section. So at this point, I was praying, and in my mind, I'm like, this is also a case of race against time. Because what if my baby has inhaled her poo? Because that's one big risk of the baby pooing inside of you. So after like 3 hours or so, thankfully, the heart rate started coming down from 180, 170, it came down to 160, it came down to 150. So everybody was happy. My husband has gone to like get something for me to eat. So I tested him. I was like, oh, the heart rate is coming down, that everybody's happy, the doctors are happy, the midwives are happy. They've come to reconfirm, because I think the room they arranged for me, someone else had to use it because I wasn't ready. I was still being monitored. So they've gone to reconfirm, to make arrangements for a different room for me. So I shared the news with my husband. He was happy and everything. Then after like 30 minutes, I was still having contraction, but it was on and off. I could hear I had the contraction. Like, it was so tight, it felt like something was squeezing my tummy. Like, my tummy, the very tight, it was so tight. So I had it, and then I could hear the monitor going beep, 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 beep. I could hear the monitor going beep, 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 beep. I don't want to cry. Sorry, guys. I had to take a break, okay? Hopefully I'm able to finish this video. But yeah, I'm okay. So when I heard the beep, 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 I looked at the monitor and it was a flat line, okay? So usually it was 140 something, 142, 130, 139, 136, 143, 144. So you always see numbers there. So, but the moment I had that tightening of abdomen, like that was a contraction, but this one was so painful. It was so painful. It was so severe. The moment I heard it, I heard the monitor beep, 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 beep. I looked at the monitor, and then I was seeing 76, 60 something, 50 something, 40 something, and then there was a flat line. So that was just my baby's heart rate dropping. So it went for, I didn't know what it was initially, but it has moved from being within that almost normal range to dropping so low that at some point the machine could not pick her heart rate any longer. After the flat line, it took about, let's say, 5-6 seconds. The machine started beeping again. The heart rate became about 120, 130, and then 140. After like 10 minutes, I had a very similar contraction again. It was so painful, like one of the most painful things I've experienced in my life. It was so painful. I felt like my abdomen were going to rip open. It happened again. The machine started beeping, beep, 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 again. Before you know it, flat line, nothing. It happened 3 times. The doctor came in and was like, what is going on? The consultant came in, the one that said, oh, it's too early to consider a C-section. So she came and she was like, oh no, this was not what we were expecting to happen. We knew that the heart rate was going to settle, but we were not expecting it to start going low. So in case you are lost or you don't understand what I'm saying, when I checked into the hospital, her heart rate was high. So they needed it to be a certain level before they can do an induction. It got to that range and they were happy to do the induction. While they were preparing the room, waiting to take me upstairs for the induction, her right heart rate started dropping with each contraction. So the consultant was like, oh no, that she was like, I'm sorry, we can't go ahead with this induction. Her heart rate is dropping with just this little contraction you're having that is like 10 minutes apart. So imagine you have back-to-back contraction. It was like, no, we have to do an emergency section. Something is wrong, something is going on. We have to get that out now. Hi, God. But it was at this point that I started crying. I just said one thing. I said it in Igbo. I said, Chineke mankukwa kiile memo. In English, it means, where is my handkerchief? In English, it means, God, you won't let me be put to shame. So I just said, God, the man quick hear me. So at that point, I started crying. I didn't know what I was feeling. My husband has gone to, get something for me to eat, and I've tested him. We've been testing about the updates and all of that. So I didn't want to tell him. The first time the heart rate dropped, I didn't want to tell him because I didn't want to scare him. The third one, when it happened, before I knew what was going on, he wasn't even back. But we spoke after the second time it happened. I still didn't want to tell him because I'm sure everything is going to be under control before he gets back. But before he could get back, they came in. One of the midwife had a hospital gown. The other one brought in a cannula and was asking me, oh, when was the last time you ate? The other one brought compression socks. There I had literally 3 people on me at the same time. As that was happening, my husband came in with all the things he bought for me and everything, and he was like, okay, what is going on? I told him I didn't even have the chance to test him that they want me to go for a C-section, because remember, they just said it, and the moment they left, I didn't even know where my phone was. I've just answered a call with him, let's say 5 minutes, and then the other one happened. I haven't even had the chance to now give him the update that okay, they are now saying I have to have a C-section. So when he came in, I was even looking for my phone because I didn't even know where my phone was. But he was like, okay, what is going on? And I told him that they said I'm going to have a C-section. I had to tell him what happened. He told me to calm down. I should not worry too much about it, that God is in control, that Shebi we've been praying, Shebi we know that God is not going to disappoint us. So he held my hand, we prayed. The anesthesiologist came in. Now something happened. The moment I saw my surgeon, I had peace, because one of the prayers I had when I was pregnant is that I keep telling God, give me the best team. Sometimes the problem will be from your team you have on your delivery day. So I've been begging God. I say, God, let it be your own people that will be on my team that day. I've always had the best midwife, all my appointments, my GP, my midwife, really good people. And I'm like, God, just finalize it that day. Give me the best people in the team. So after I cried, when my husband came and we prayed, I wiped my tears. I wasn't even crying any longer. But then a lady walked in, and she was a very young lady, and she was like, oh, I'm Dr. this and that, I'm going to be your surgery, how are you doing, how are you feeling? So she now saw that I was a bit teary. She said, don't worry, it's okay, the important thing is that you and the baby are okay. And I said yes. My husband was like, yes. So when I saw her, the moment she walked into the room, I had peace. I don't know why I felt that way, but I had peace. Something just told me you are in safe hands, that God is in charge. So I had peace. At that point, I was like, because when she saw me, and then the anesthesiologist also came and took some notes, asked me some certain questions, told me about the risk and everything. They left. And then there was nothing. After 10 minutes, nobody came, because I was not telling my husband, where are they now? Let them come and carry me and come and do the thing. I had this confidence that I didn't know where it was coming from. I'm like, Jawazia came back, they made the thing. You go, Makwa. I have compression socks. They set IV line. 10 minutes, I've not seen anybody.
Ichoka make content. Ichoka real by Toby. Smile, Jesus loves you. Smile, Jesus loves you. Hi. What's your name? Why are you changed in the hospital gown? What's going on? What are you waiting for? Just a few minutes ago, I saw you in your clothes. Piam, you've changed into a gown. Wagwan. Wagwan. What's going on?
What's going on?
Meaning what's going on in Jamaica?
Oh, really?
What's going on? Why are you waiting?
Oh, good. Oh, good.
You sure? Good.
Good.
All right.
one of the midwife came. I think she's a theater nurse or something, I can't remember. So she came, and then I walked to the theater. So my husband had to get changed. They told my husband to bring out baby's clothes. Like, that was when things started becoming real to me. So before they took me to the theater, they told my husband that he's not going to enter with me. So they were basically telling me that I'm going to walk into that theater without my husband. So that first they are going to try to do the spinal, and if it doesn't work, they will have to put me to sleep. So if they do the spinal and it works, my husband can now come in, but my husband will not be there while they are doing the spinal. So if the spinal works, my husband can now come in. If it doesn't work, my husband will not be in the theater with me. I was like, what? It's again. They took me in. So my husband was like, oh, don't be scared. I'm here with you. I'm just by the door. If anything happens, just shout out to me. When I walked into the theater, in case you don't know, I'm a radiographer, and radiographers work in the theater. So I'm very familiar with theater environment. Theater was like my office. I walked into the theater. Everybody was nice. Everybody was professional. They were like, oh, are you happy to meet your baby? We had a little chat, you know. So they positioned me for the spinal. The anesthesiologist told me that he's going to insert a needle, this really long needle, inside of me. That he's going to insert the needle and hit the needle. So if he hits the needle and the needle is in the right place, I'm not supposed to feel anything, okay? But if I feel a shock, an electric shock, that means the needle is in the wrong place. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So he positioned me, like, I hunched my back with a pillow. I was like leaning on a pillow, and then he inserted the needle, and then he just, I'm sure he didn't hit, like, it was just a tap. He tapped on it. I felt like the strongest shock on my right leg. I shouted. I almost jumped. Like, you know, when the pain is so much that you could not compose yourself. I almost jumped out of the bed. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. We'll try that again. So he brought it out. And if you know me, I'm not scared of needles. I've said it on this channel so many times. I don't care about needles. My problem was like the tapping. If it's not in the right place, the shock I feel is too much. So he brought it out, and then he put it back again, and then tapped on it. I felt the shock again. At this point, I started crying. I told them I don't want to do it again. Like, at this point, I told them, you are not trying a third time without bringing my husband inside of this room. Because remember, my husband was outside. I said, before you try the third time, please bring my husband. Let him hold my hand. So there was a Nigerian nurse there, and also a Nigerian theater staff. I can't remember what he is. I think it was like a theater assistant, but he wasn't a nurse. So they both came to me, and they were trying to calm me down. So the guy, I've forgotten what he was. So he called me my name, like, called me, Dema, please, relax. These people know what they are doing. Sometimes you don't just get it right. Don't worry. Once they get it right, we'll start. Everything is under control. Meanwhile, my husband already heard me shouting, and of course, they didn't let him enter. So one of them had to go outside and talk to him and say, oh, we are just trying to get the spinal needle in the right place, and is in the right place, we'll bring you in. Nothing is happening to her. I was crying. So a senior anesthesiologist came in and did a little adjustment, and the needle was in. It was perfect. I didn't feel any shock. So they injected me, and then I laid again. They brought in my husband. He held my hand. He was like, don't worry. He was, God will bless him. He was reassuring me and everything. So to be honest, maybe, I don't know, maybe I had peace when I was in the theater. That is one thing I could swear by. I had peace. I don't know if, I know God was part of it. At some point, I started feeling like I want to vomit. So he said, oh, we can't give you an, okay, they were supposed to give me an sickness medicine, maybe an anti-emetic or something. But he was like, oh, we can't give it to you now until the baby comes out, because whatever they want to give me is not good for the baby. So he was like, oh, we can't give you now until they bring the baby out. I was laying there, and it was almost as if everything was a blur. I was there, but then I was not there. I was also not worried, if you guys get what I mean. I was just praying in my heart. My husband was praying. He was singing beside me. He was promising me heaven and earth. I'll buy this one for you. I'll buy that one for you. Honestly, then those things he was saying was not my problem. You buy me that, you buy me that. That was not my problem. But but now I want all those things that he wants to buy for me. Let him buy them. Let him bring them now. All those things that he promised me. Let him bring them now. So after like, let's say 3 minutes, I lay down. I didn't even know they started. And another thing is, there were like 3 pediatricians, ICU pediatricians, not just any other pediatrician, but like ICU pediatricians inside the theater. So when I came in, they introduced themselves and told me they're going to have a look at the baby. Immediately the baby is being brought out because of course, to check if she's inhaled her poo and everything. So after like, let's say 3 minutes, I could hear suction. Ooh, like suction means suction in theater is usually when they've cut the person open and blood is coming out and they are trying to like, suck the blood out, okay, so that they have like a clean field to work. So I was hearing suction, and one of my biggest fear as I was lying down on that table was feeling everything, because I've heard stories, I've seen videos of women that are being butchered while they were having a C-section. Is it that the anesthetic wore off or just something goes wrong and they felt everything, like the scream and everything? So it was like one of my biggest fear. So when I was not hearing suction, I'm like, oh, does it mean they've started? And I didn't even know. So I was laying there, my husband was praying, he was singing, he was multitasking. He would pray, he would sing, he would tell me I love you, he would tell me this one, tell me that one. So I heard a baby cry, but in my mind I'm like, maybe someone just delivered in the next theater, because they had like, where I went to, there were like theaters there. So I heard the baby cry, but I didn't take it serious. I'm like, oh, just started now, so it's probably not my baby. In fact, I didn't even think anything of it. My mind was like, I think it was somebody's else baby in the next theater. So the next thing I heard, my husband now said, Ekuptego baby. What it means is they've brought out baby. I'm like, how? That was when I started paying attention, because I was there, but I was not there. So that was when I started paying attention. I heard her cry. I can't explain the feeling I felt. I don't know how I felt. I heard her cry. And then the baby said, I heard the doctor said, oh, look, the baby has her cord wrapped tightly around her neck. That was what the doctor said. So when I heard that, my heart sank. At the same time, I was happy for the kind of team I had. So everybody was like surprised, and at the same time they were relieved that they brought the baby out at the time they brought the baby out. But when I heard that, oh look, the baby has her cord wrapped tightly around her neck, I'm like, are you sure this is not even what put her in distress in the first place? So everybody was like, oh, probably this might be the reason why, she had to poo. When you're in so much distress, you might poo. Maybe it was even the cord that was affecting her heart rate and everything. So immediately they brought her. Thankfully, she cried immediately. The ICU pediatrician came and they took her immediately, and I saw, that was the only thing I could see. Okay, the only thing I heard was the surgeon saying, oh, she has her cord wrapped around her neck. And then I looked, and then I saw them took her immediately and then placed her on like a mini table, and they were tapping her chest. They were trying to listen to her heart. She was moving, she was everything, she was doing okay, but I think they were trying to like check if she inhaled something. So they checked her for like, I think 3 minutes, and then sorry guys, I had to take a break, another break. So they checked her for like, I think 2-3 minutes or maybe 5 minutes, I wasn't sure, and then gave her to the theater nurse, and then the nurses took her and then called my husband to come and cut the cord. And I know that would be like a proud dad moment for him. So my husband was already jumping around in the theater. He was happy. He was this. Me, when the moment I knew that the baby was okay, that was like when I calmed down. I had to clean the baby up, just wiped her off quickly. Not They didn't do like a proper, no, they just, just give her a little wipe and then wrapped her and then gave her to my husband to bring to me. When my husband brought her, she's the most beautiful being I've ever seen. She was so beautiful. So my husband brought her, because I was lying down. So my husband brought her for me to carry her. My arms were too heavy. I think it was because of the injection they gave me. My hands were too heavy. I couldn't hold her. Tears were coming down my eyes. I was crying. I didn't even know why I was crying. I was crying, and at the same time, I was so grateful to God. I've never been this grateful to God. I was so grateful. So my husband now saw that I couldn't carry her, and because I felt like my hands were heavy and I was so scared I might drop her on the floor. So I just told my husband that I can't carry her. I really wanted to, but I could not carry her. So he was like, that's okay. So he put her on my chest. I need to take a break, guys. So when he saw that I could not carry her, he put her on my chest, and that was the best feeling of my life, like the best thing I've ever felt. She was crying, babies, they cry, but the moment my husband brought her and placed her on my chest, he was holding her, but she was like laying on my chest. She stopped crying. I could smell her. I could feel her. I'm like, God, I thank you. I'm like, this pregnancy journey. I was so grateful. I've never been that grateful to God in my life. So after that, they took they didn't take her. My husband now had her, so they closed me up. So it took like literally 5 minutes for them to bring her out from the moment they cut me up. So it was really fast. The next thing was for them to close me up. So when they were now closing me up, I could hear the machine, the suction and everything. The mood in the theater was now also brighter. When everybody, before the procedure, not like everybody was on the edge, everybody was acting professional and all of that, but the moment they brought the baby out, everybody was relaxed. The mood was a bit more, lightened, brighter, if I can put it like that. They started closing me up. So closing me up took about, I'm not sure at this point, because I kind of zoned out. I didn't care about whatever that was going on any longer. I was happy my baby is safe. When they finished, they wheeled me to the recovery. The nurse came to me and was like, oh, are you happy to breastfeed her? In my mind, I'm like, no. Maybe because I didn't know that the moment they brought the baby out, you already like you should be in mom's mode, like your mom's duty has started. So he was like, oh yeah, are you happy to breastfeed her? She was trying to know if I'm breastfeeding or if I brought formula, or do they have to bring formula and give the baby and everything. So like, oh yeah, I would love to breastfeed. She was like, okay, yeah, can you do that now? I'm like, I'm shy, small girl like me. Small girl like me couldn't breastfeed there. The moment I had that baby in my hand, somehow I already knew what to do, So I put on my breast, and you see, one thing about babies is nobody teaches them how to suck like breast. I put on my breast, and My girl came out hungry. Nurse had to come and check and saw that she was latching well and everything was okay. It was painful though. Breastfeeding is painful though. At the beginning though, like when I just started. Everything from there was pretty much me trying to recover. After about, I think 3, 4, 5 hours, guys, at this point a lot of things were like a blur to me. So after, I think, let's say 6 hours or so, the midwife came to me and was like, oh, am I happy to sit up? Because I was lying down. She tried to check if I can move my legs and everything. She said, oh, are you happy to sit up? I said yes, I could sit up. She said okay, that's fine, that she would encourage me to try and sit for and move from the bed to the seat. That is going to help my recovery. She assisted me. I now sat at a chair just beside my bed. She gave me something to pee and she was like, oh, you have to pee, and she said after peeing I should leave my pee in the toilet because they have to check it. I have to pee and poop within a certain period of time. If not, they won't discharge me and they will have to put the catheter back. So now, because I didn't plan to have a C-section, I did not plan anything about my recovery. Like, I don't even know where to start. But the thing is, because of I've gone through a little information online while I was pregnant, when they said, oh, after having a C-section, one of the best ways to get your GIT going very well is to eat bubble gum. So I always had gum in my bag, so I ate some gum because it's supposed to help your intestine start working normal fast. I also drank plenty of water. So I asked them for laxative because I also saw online, God bless TikTok, like moms on TikTok, they said online that you can also ask for laxative. It will help, so I asked them for laxative. They gave it to me. That night I had just a little something to eat. I noticed that my baby couldn't breathe well. Okay, so now, because she did not pass through the birth canal, she had like a lot of mucus in her lungs. I kept calling the attention of the midwife to check the baby. I could hear this wheezy sound as she's breathing, so she was like, oh, don't worry, it will clear on its own. It's because we had that via C-section, and usually when baby pass through the birth canal, it helps to like squeeze out the mucus in their lungs and everything. But it stops after, I think, 2 days or so. That one stopped. So the next morning I was already walking around. They were giving me morphine and I was like, I was in pains, but it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. I was like, the pain is not too bad, until they withdrew me from morphine. I want craze. Pain won't finish me. Here on, it was just pretty much me trying to recover. The next day, they came and checked her eyesight, checked if she has jaundice, checked hearing. Like, they did a lot of tests to be sure that everything is fine. They also had to change her wristband because in the hospital, they usually have like this wrist alarm that alerts them of baby's heart rate. Like, if something is going on with the baby, they are able to detect from the wrist thingy. So my baby's own was like a big 40 because it kept going off, and then they will come and check on the baby and the baby is fine. And also, when you take the baby and move a bit further, it also sets off an alarm. That way you can't steal a baby. So my baby's own kept going off, and each time it goes off, they run to check on her and they see she's okay, and she's also with me. Nobody else is trying to carry her away. So they were like, oh, it's definitely 40, so they had to change it. When I took my first walk, I wouldn't say it was horrible. It wasn't too bad, but it was something. It felt like I was learning how to walk again. And I remember saying to myself that I've changed. I knew that the Chidema that entered that theater wasn't the Chidema that came out. I felt like there was this shift. I felt like my body was swapped. I know it's still me, but from the moment I held my baby, I knew I was a different person. While they were wheeling me out of that theater, I just knew that I'm a totally different person. The first walk I took felt like I was learning how to walk again. I was sore all over the place. I tried to look at my body, and I could see I was still looking very pregnant. Guys, if you see my body, I wasn't swollen before I entered the theater. By the time I came out, zachicha everywhere. I was so swollen everywhere. It was when it was time for me to poo. Okay, my first poo after C-section, I felt like my organs were going to like pour on the floor. Sorry, trigger warning. But funny enough, it was easier than I expected. Maybe because I was taking a lot of fluid. I think that's another advice I'm going to give to anyone who is about to have a C-section. Okay, try and take enough water. I was drinking water. I knew my recovery would have been easier if I have had a planned C-section. I would have done my research. I would have known what to do to make recovery easier for me, since the surgery is successful by God's grace. So yeah, I had my first poo, and good thing I wasn't constipated. Okay, that because of course I drank a lot of food. I was drinking a lot of water. I was drinking like hot stuff. It wasn't too bad. It's just I felt like my organs were like, it felt like you know when they bring out your organ and then put it back without arranging it the way it was. That was how it felt. I know that's probably not what happened, but that was how it felt. So when I had my first food, they were happy with my assessment. They assessed my baby. They were happy and they were like, okay, we are happy to discharge you. So I had my baby on a Thursday and I was discharged on a Saturday. So I stayed in the hospital Friday and then I was discharged on Saturday. I know it's as if I'm not being as detailed as I was in the beginning of the video. That's because, like I said, from the moment they brought my baby out, a lot of things were like a blur to me. Okay, so I tried to be honest, I can't even remember the first few days of my postpartum. When they discharged me, they gave me an injection to have for 8 days, to inject in my tummy for 8 days. Oh god, this is like the worst injection. I'm not scared of needle, but I was scared of this particular tiny winning needle. Like this needle is so tiny but it's so painful. It's a prick though, but it's painful. Maybe because I've just had a baby, so I'm like sore all over the place. So they gave me that injection. It's an anticoagulant, so it's supposed to prevent blood clotting. So I'm supposed to have it for 8 days. So they also sent me home with some painkillers. But yeah guys, if you are watching this, I have had my baby. Baby is doing okay, mommy is doing okay. I'm finally able to like share my story. I know you guys haven't seen me this emotional on my channel before, but guys, do you know that each time I sit, I'm sorry if this video is too long, just that I try to like express myself as much as I can, and I try to like give as much details as I can. Okay, but yeah, if you're watching this, I have had my baby. Baby is doing well, baby is doing okay. I've been wanting to tell my story, but each time I dress up, do my makeup, and each time I set the camera and press record, I can't say anything, or before you know it, I start tearing up and all of that. I'm like, okay, no, maybe you are not ready to tell this story. So today I felt ready and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to come here and share my testimony, because so yeah, this is my testimony. This is me telling you guys that God has been faithful to me. He sent me the best team. He gave me the best partner. Everything went like perfectly well. Yeah, recovery wise, recovery is hard though. My recovery is hard. It's not C-section recovery is hard, and I feel like one of the things that made it a bit hard for me was because I wasn't prepared for what is to come. But in everything I give thanks. Like, it could have been worse. What would I have said? Like, go on, Kariko. So yeah guys, thank you for your prayers, thank you for your messages. Oh my god, my Instagram people are always reaching out to me. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for your comment, thank you for your prayers. You guys have been through this journey with me. You guys have been very supportive. You guys have been praying for me. I love your comments. Thank you for those that have checked up on me. But yeah, that is my story. And if you are waiting to have your baby, I just want you to know that don't worry too much about it. Pray that God sends you the best and best of people in your corner on that day. And yeah, keep trusting God, keep praying for yourself, keep praying for your baby. You are going to be fine. God is on the throne and will continue to be on the throne. He has done it for me and he will also do it for you. I'm going to put up a Q&A, or just drop, if you have any question, drop it in the comment section. I think it will be easier that way. If you have any question, drop your questions in the comment section of this video. I'm going to film a different video for that.
Have to walk you down and discharge.